Hey, everybody. It's the Rad Left podcast back at you again.
Back at you.
It's me, James, and Casey over here.
Hi.
Hello. We were actually just talking before I hit record. I was like, I should probably get this recorded because it's an interesting story. Casey and his band, the Electro Cult Circus,
Yeah.
played a festival. Where was this?
It was in, God, I can't remember. It was a couple hours away. What the fuck is, I can look. Oh, Fredericksburg or something?
Fredericksburg.
But it's called Bad Axe Festival.
Bad Axe?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And they did axe throwing and shit. But
Oh,
they were all
okay,
really
okay.
nice. And it's not verified yet. I just have not gotten a check. But I get, you know, that feeling where it's like, so we usually, we don't sign a lot of contracts because normally I've never had anyone rip us off, but
Yeah.
pretty sure these guys are ripping us off. They had like Acoustic Hookah there, and
Oh,
we knew when
God.
we were, yeah, I know, right? When
Oh,
we knew when
God.
we were there too, there weren't a lot of people, and they were like
Uh-huh.
rednecks with guns, and there was this big mud pit that you get like stuck in, and this guy, it was fucking
So
weird.
they were redneck hippies
Yeah.
with guns?
Yeah.
That's such a weird.
It was a really weird, and then there was like
concept.
some pride flags there and stuff.
Okay.
And we have a member who's person of color.
Yeah.
And he showed up, and he was really happy to see another person of color riding around on a motorcycle.
Uh-huh.
But there were also like the security guys and the guys that run the thing had like guns, and we're kind of like redneck, but like. And we always are down
So
for the
interesting.
adventure. Yeah, we always love the adventure. We just laugh it off. We would love to be playing really great high class things, but we
Sure.
just aren't.
Yeah.
So we have to to survive. You have to
Yeah.
have a sense of humor. But that's it. So we have all, and luckily we have. It's not like me by myself, or I'm just sitting there like
Right.
we can like at
Feeling
least
like in danger, yeah.
yeah.
We my previous band, we played Skatopia one year.
Oh, we got offered to do that one year.
You should do it. It's
I
fun.
chickened out.
Did you?
Is it
Oh,
not-
no.
I just got scared because like people setting cars on fire.
Uh-huh. They won't set your car on fire. You have to like volunteer.
Oh, okay.
They don't
okay.
just like it's like you drive a clunker there knowing that you're gonna drive it there and then leave it there and
Yeah.
let them set it on fire. It's
Oh,
they will
oh.
shoot fireworks at you though.
Okay, that's I can. I've
Especially
had
if
that
you're on
happen.
stage.
Oh, that's okay.
I like when I went, I had to set up the outdoor stage because it's so DIY that they don't even have like that level of organization, which is cool. It's very
You just
anarchic.
it's like you're at the end of the world.
Yeah, it really is. It's like
Which
Mad
is how
Max
it's going to be.
music festival.
This is how concerts are going to be soon.
Yeah,
Every concert's
exactly.
going to be Skatopia.
Yeah, I'm kind of into that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so I set up the mixer and plugged in the PA and stuff, and I was like running sound.
Yeah.
And the entire time it was like a game for the audience to try and hit me with Roman candles.
Oh, that's cool. Dude,
Yeah.
you have so much more of that. I want to be, I'm late to the punk rock game. Like,
Yeah.
I want it. My wife has a little, but we are actually kind of posers. Like, we love to act like we have any of that in us. We
Yeah.
love, like, watching stuff about it, but actually
Yeah.
getting in there and doing it, we're like, but you, like, get in trash cans and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take my pants off and dance around and
Yeah.
do goofy shit, but, like, when it's, like, aggressively, like, you are much more into that. I'm proud of you for that.
I think that any real, quote unquote, real punk has that feeling of like, well, I'm not a real punk. I'm a poser because we all know our own thoughts and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and anybody who says that they're a punk or acts like a punk and acts all tough and stuff, they're the real posers.
It is sort of
I
like the
think-
gangster rap thing. It's
Yeah.
like like Tupac was actually
Yeah.
a badass, but he wrote
Yeah.
songs about like his mama and
Yeah,
shit.
and love. And
yeah.
like,
And then the
like,
ones that
yeah.
aren't are like oh, fucking care.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
just talking a big game.
That's true.
And yeah. I
One
think
thing I will
so.
say that I think is punk rock about myself, and this is just something I figured out a long time ago, is I noticed a lot of people that are in punk make a very similar style of music that is basically, and I think, well, that punk was original because it had never been heard before.
Right.
So
Punk for
currently,
music, yeah.
I think sometimes like They Might Be Giants is more punk rock than punk
Absolutely.
rock because it's like, wow,
Absolutely.
you have the balls to sound like butterfly
Yeah.
in my soul, and like
Yeah.
obviously it's goofy, but
Oh my god, I love They Might Be Giants.
I do too. Have you ever heard of when Ween opened for Fugazi? 'Cause,
Really?
Yeah, apparently. Or no. Yeah, it was Fugazi, but like Henry Rollins was a huge Ween fan. Like, you can hear him in concerts being like, "You guys are all fucking idiots. There's one band that is in that because they just loved because they have songs about diseases and shit.
Oh,
It's just
sure.
weird. Like they have
Yeah.
a song that's just like AIDS and it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But like they said it's the best concert they ever played where they opened for Fugazi and their fans just hated them and like they're getting pelted the whole time and trying to sing their songs like.
Oh my god,
It's fucking. I like that kind of stuff. So there's a part of me
Fugazi
that
fans.
Yeah, they just.
I love
didn't-
Fugazi.
Yeah, I like Fugazi too. I mean, they probably didn't like Ween or thought it was a joke or something. But
I mean, Ween's weird. I mean,
They're
that's
weird.
the thing. Like, oh man, it's. Yeah, I have now been to hundreds of hardcore shows, working at Dirty Dungarees and having to serve those spoiled kids. But the bands that were always the most fun were the bands that didn't sound like all the other bands. That were like doing something weird. That had their own unique, voices and stuff. Like bands like Pickpocket, who, if you haven't heard of them, I recorded them. Their first album ever. It's kind of cute. They're like, young kids, like up and comers.
Where are they from?
They're from here.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're great. Recording them was a breeze. They're really great to work with. Amazing musicians. And you definitely check out Pickpocket. I think it's definitely one of my favorite records I've ever recorded. But bands like that, like where it just they don't fit into the hardcore mold, and they're not trying to, and that's so much more punk rock than trying to just sell out by having the same exact sound as that's been done over and over and over and over again. Like it's like, do you guys realize how many times hardcore and punk have come? There's been a revival, and then it's died, and then people are like, "Look at this! It's innovative. I'm bringing back, I'm going back to second wave hardcore." It's like, do you know how many bands have done second wave hardcore?
Same with blues bands, or like bands that bring retro blues. Like you got like Rolling Stones, then you got like the White Stripes, then you got like
the Black Keys.
Yeah, all that keeps happening, and now there's like, but it's like there is. But I like things where like I like a band that is so unique. Even if I'm not that into their music, I love an idea of a band that's like their own genre. Like they're their own culture. That's what I like. Instead of like kissing ass to another culture, I find that to be cool. Like the Talking Heads don't really sound like anybody else.
Not really.
It's like they're the Talking Heads.
Yeah.
Devo sounds like Devo.
Oh yeah, Devo.
It's
Devo's punk rock as fuck.
They
let's
are,
be honest.
and I'd say new wavy punk
rock.
But
they are. They're not. They're not like the music isn't punk rock, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's like the ethos of being punk versus.
You're right. It is punk though.
Versus
the vibe.
Like. musically being punk.
Yes, I see what you're saying. They are punk
because
rock as
like
fuck.
punk
That's
is
true.
dead.
Yeah.
Right? Like the music is dead. AKA it's been done before. I've heard it. It's fine.
Yeah, even when Nirvana came out, it was dead. Like, it was like,
well, and they honestly, a lot of people think that Nirvana killed punk rock,
could
which
be.
is it's probably fine.
Yeah,
Put a bullet in punk rock's head, then put a bullet.
I'd
in
rather
his
say it was
head.
Green Day.
You think it's Green Day?
I think Green Day killed it.
Oh man,
I think they started pop punk, which is fine.
I don't know if they started it because there was like Husker Du. Like they're pretty poppy.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
The Descendants. Not the Descendants.
The Stooges were cool. Weren't the Stooges really the first?
The Stooges
kind of were the first.
They call that proto punk.
Oh.
Like the song like I Want to Be Your Dog.
Yeah.
A lot of music historians say that was like the first. Like,
the first one?
Punk rock song, yeah.
I
if
mean,
you listen to it, it's like, yeah, kind of.
It feels, when you hear it, still sounds very fresh too. It's like, he seemed to mean it, whatever it was.
I cannot believe that dude is still alive.
I know.
And playing music.
I know. I just read I listened to a podcast.
How much heroin has that guy done? Like in poundage. I want to know.
Johnny Depp called him Iggy Poop to his face when he was young.
Why?
Iggy Pop, because they opened for him when he was in bands before he was famous.
Yeah.
And the first thing he said to him was like, "Hey, Iggy Poop," and he was like, "Watch your mouth, turd." Apparently, I just heard that in a podcast. Don't know how true it is, but it's funny. That's where I'm at in the world.
Turd.
Watch your mouth, turd. Or something like that.
Yeah.
But, that's where I'm at in the world of information right now. I have learned that I have no fucking clue. I mean, even if I experience something, I'm not 100% sure what I experienced. Like the thing I told you about today earlier. But like, you look at like what is really happening, and all I can do now, and I wonder if this is just how reality is. What's his fucking name? McKenna calls it the omega point, where things are going to get so fucking weird.
Yeah.
We are not going to be able to tell the difference between reality and it's like we're all going to be tripping soon.
I mean, we might already.
We
might be
passed
there.
that. I think.
With like these deep fakes and the AI and stuff, like I don't want to jump on the bandwagon.
Let me take my face off real quick for you. Yeah.
Oh God! This is an audio medium, so I have to describe what's happening to you right now. He just ripped all the skin off of his face, and underneath is a mask of my face.
That'd be cool. That's you, and I'm like, James, I've been waiting to take you to your. This is it. You've made it. You don't have to do anything else.
That's ironic because I'll take my face off real fast.
Oh, it's me.
It's you.
That'd be neat if we could do that.
Now we can just continue this conversation because you're me and I'm you, and
dude, this could
we're
be that
basically
moment.
just back where we started.
We both could be a reach. Like it all led to this moment where we reveal this, and you can't go. You can't go back to your job after that.
No.
You're done.
Damn
like
it, I'm Casey.
Yeah, you're Casey. I'm
gotta
you.
go to Casey's job.
Yeah, you have to go sleep with my wife, take care of my kids. Good luck.
You're like, have fun with that.
Yeah, or have very little sex with my wife. Actually, is what's going to happen, and not because you don't want to, because there's 3 little cock blockers around all the time.
You know. That's
a dog?
That's a good name for children.
3 little cock blockers.
Yeah.
That's what they are. If you're going to have kids, you're just having, and a dog. I blame the dog too. 2 kids and a dog.
Yeah.
They're the cutest little, is cock blocker okay to say anymore?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. Just checking. I can't tell. Like I said, reality, I don't know anymore. I'm out of touch.
I think it's one of the negative, one of the negative aspects of today's, the culture war, I'm really glad that things are way more progressive than they were when we were kids.
Yeah.
That, there's language there for the different kinds of, the reason why we felt like outsiders, like how we were alienated from our classmates and stuff. There's better language for that now. It's like, I have, I have ADHD and is somewhere on the spectrum. And it's like, oh, okay, well, that's why I feel like I don't belong, is because I am neurodivergent. Yeah. It's really good to have these words, and I'm glad that these kids are growing up in an environment that is way more accepting like that. But in the fallout of that, though, is this you just oftentimes feel like you have to be walking on eggshells, and what is offensive to who and when, but I don't want to sound like all those bullshit shitty ass comedians who are like, oh, cancel culture is ruining comedy.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like that.
There's a little bit of truth to that. Maybe not ruining college, but people are getting scared to say what they feel, which is not changing what they feel. No. They're just scared. So it actually
and then it's just making them bitter towards the wrong people. It's like, well, the woke mind virus, And
well, that's what I was telling my wife today, actually. The exact same thing. I was saying, there seems to be more feminine power coming through and power towards the whole gay movement. All that's great. But unfortunately, as much as more people are going towards it in a positive way, there's others that are doubling down in their anger. So that seems to be a reaction that we didn't really expect, but it's naturally
that's going to happen.
There's a harder crust of people to get through that are going to really be, we ain't going to let this happen. And that's where it's getting scary.
Yeah, and it's a pendulum.
Yeah, it is.
And you see it. And this is what I have to remind myself, is that anybody can be toxic.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you've been a victim most of your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, if you were bullied for things that weren't your choice, like what color skin you were born with.
Yeah.
Your, sexual orientation, your gender identity. It doesn't matter. You can be an asshole, and you can discriminate against somebody else.
Yeah, everyone has bias.
Yeah.
And not, that doesn't mean everyone's racist. Everyone just has that's what...
I think everybody's racist.
A little bit.
At least a little bit.
Spike,
or,
did I tell you
what's that implicit bias?
Did you see what Spike... Did we talk about this already, what Spike Lee had said about racism? He was saying, I like it, because someone asked him, can black people be racist? And he goes... People always misquote me because he's known as having said black people can't be racist. But he says there's a continuation of that where it's but black people can be biased, or there's another word,
or discriminate.
Discriminate.
Yeah.
He goes, racism is a culture structure.
It's structural.
Yeah, it's black people didn't
systemic.
Black people did not make white people not be able to drink at the water fountain or any of that.
Right.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't. Okay, white people also did not invent slavery, but we're just really fucking good at it.
Yes,
we've definitely made it into the Disney World of we're like the fucking. I
love that when we talk about slavery and then defensive white people are that black people were enslaving black people before, and it's like. So, just because somebody else, it's like the whole with Trump, where he, it's like, well, look at all these crimes you committed, and he goes, well, look at Biden and Hunter.
I know, always
look at their crimes.
Deflection,
and it's like, what does it have to do with your crimes?
Yeah,
just because somebody else is doing crimes. Does not mean that you're allowed to do crimes.
That's what...
Arrest them both. Arrest all 3 of them. I don't give a fuck.
And anytime I try to confront someone on their shit, man, because I'm just one of those people that does that, because I find it... I want people to do it to me, but it's really hard to get people in that loop. And it is hard, man. And, and as much as I like to say, I want people to do that to me, I still find there's something that happens when someone's telling you it's really hard to not get defensive initially. But if you calm down and you listen and your ego, you give your ego a moment to relax, then you can be like, okay, it doesn't. It's like it actually makes you stronger to be like, I fuck up sometimes. But it's those people that hold on to the fucking That thing you said though earlier is so good though about giving a name to things like neurodivergent. Because I found that to be true, man. Every time you can name something, then you get a reference point for what it is, because without that you're lost. And you just keep going through this loop of like, oh, I had that weird feeling again. It's like, no, that's called anxiety or whatever the fuck, or that's the part of your brain because you do this. And like, I know, and people didn't have that before. Like nobody was doing that in my mom and dad's generation.
No way. Just talking about going to therapy was a no.
Nope.
You couldn't even talk about it.
It was
because it was
taboo.
So taboo.
Yeah.
Talking about mental health was like, I don't know. It was like nails on a chalkboard for our boomery.
I still get that way, man. I still get that way about crying
parents.
and stuff. Like I still like men cry, and I feel like I'm one of the softest little whatever pretty boys in my generation. But like, but I still, if something happens, like something about crying, I think it's because my mom used to use crying as a form of manipulation to a degree. Like if you ever confronted her, she'd like start, and I'd be like, I always taught it like, I don't know, crying seems manipulative to me. So somehow it's like,
so you kind of have like a
like I don't like people that cry if I'm confronting them. I'm like, okay, like of course, like it's your way out.
Like I guess you win the argument. Yeah.
Which some people like, I get mad. Other people cry because that's my cry. It's like I just like get.
Well, that's because men. That's the only emotion we're allowed to show.
Yeah.
Culturally, is we're only allowed to get mad.
Yep.
And then we wonder why
Yeah.
men are racist, murdery, rapist pieces of fuck when we're like, huh, interesting. So you're only allowed to be aggressive whenever you're feeling a thing, and what we have is a whole half of the population isn't overly aggressive, and I wonder how that happened.
I wonder how that happened. That is a good point.
Interesting.
And none of us have friends beyond 50 generally. We all, we get sad and which I'm trying to change that. I'd like to be your friend past my age of 50, which is coming up really soon. Not for you.
Oh, yeah?
But a couple years for me.
Oh, wow.
I'm 48.
Really?
Yeah. Did you not know that I was that old?
I had to at some point.
Yeah, maybe. You're just not keeping track, and that's fine. I'm not either. I'm trying not to either.
Like when you told me how old you were before, it was years ago.
Yes.
And it is now...
It
is now more years,
and
so
48 is even.
I'm about to be. I just turned 34, but I'll be 35, and I'm like, holy shit,
sweet.
That's halfway to 70.
That's when I first had my first kid, I think.
Oh, really?
That was a weird time. I met a guy last night though that was 48 that looked 67.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You don't look 48 at all. Like
there's stuff happening.
You would be like,
yeah.
I would easily believe you were, in my decade.
Lots of masturbation.
Yes, that keeps you fresh.
Yeah,
you just rub it into your skin.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I just rub it. That's all this is. I'm not sure because
this is Casey cum. I bottle it, sell it online. Hey,
I don't know if there is an answer. If some people just have certain DNA, because I do get that a lot from people, and I also listen to those things where it's people like, this lady's 103 years old, and they're always like, I still drink whiskey every day. Like all of them are always like, I still. So I think what it is it isn't about what you do. I think she must really fucking enjoy that whiskey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She must
isn't like living in shame about it.
Yeah. Or like drinking
shame
sad
and guilt.
Yeah. I try not to drink.
You.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And not feeling because every once in a while.
I mean that's reductive, but
but I know, but it's an important point. Like because your mind, like I can listen to music and I still get the goose pimples from music, and I guess not everyone gets those. Because I'll hear music, certain songs, and it's like, oh wow, man, like this one's getting me. Like, and I think something like, but in there,
driving at night, and then you're like that song that just like always hits you.
Yeah, and you don't even know why sometimes.
And then the song ends, and you hit
do it
rewind.
Again. I got to go back,
and you go back, and you get the goosebumps again.
Yeah,
and you're just like,
it's a good
hell
feeling.
yeah! Like it's like the first time you discovered your favorite genre of music. You know?
Yeah. That's true. And
it's
I don't
sad
know
that people don't. That there are people out there who don't experience that anymore.
It is
that
really
they're
weird.
like, I don't know. It's like you're dead inside or something.
I know. I can't imagine that. Or not having a creative pursuit. I don't know how. Certain people in my life don't seem to have that. And like,
it's very strange.
Part of me envies them, but also part of me is like, no, that's got to be really like they're just going through life doing like going to parks. Like, what do you do? Like going to your job, watching movies. Like,
I don't.
And then they seem to get like, if they're not artistic, they seem to be the first ones to be like, I hate all these Star Wars films. Like they get really like they start getting this kind of vibe like I am this king on this castle and you entertain me. I'm like, why don't you fucking entertain us once in a while, asshole?
Yeah.
You're just sitting back on your goddamn throne. Like that guy I mean, yes, the Star Wars movies are kind of shit, all right?
Yeah.
But like, still, you couldn't make one. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
shut up,
we could.
Ben
Actually, we maybe
Shabibo.
Ben Shabibo. Maybe we could make a Star Wars film.
I
better.
bet we could. We could. It would be. I mean, it would ruin the franchise more than
Could we ruin
the
it any more
last
than?
Skywalker or whatever. That
Everyone's going to get their own Star Wars film now. You're going to get one. They're
I
going to
hope
make one
so.
about every
I'm
character.
going to make one, and all the characters are going to get addicted
Disney's
to cough
just- they're
medicine,
gonna-
and they will all be fucking each other
I would
and
watch
not
that.
know who they are.
I would watch that. And you're like a really fringe character. You were like
Yeah,
sitting in the
I'll be in
way
it.
back. Like, no, he's that guy sitting behind Guido in the cantina. Like it's
I'm
Guanguk.
quote unquote sitting behind
Yeah,
Guido.
sitting behind
I'm not fucking Guido.
You're not fucking Guido.
No,
But
I'm
that'd
not.
be,
But I am.
You should turn it all into some sexual. It's like some Star Wars fan fiction erotic
Yeah.
weird thing.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
I'll start working on my spec script.
Do it.
I'll send it to J.J. Abrams, see if he'll
Read like
give me a franchise.
read 5 minutes of it every podcast.
How fucked
5
up is
more.
that J.J. Abrams got both Star Wars and Star Trek?
It seems.
It's like insider trading or
I
something.
know. Like, why did he get all?
You can't
those?
do that.
I know. Why? That's too much. That's too like. That's what's that called?
Too many stars.
Too many stars, and I mean, spread it around, man. There's other good
Yeah.
directors out
Yeah.
there, aren't there? Probably.
Absolutely. J.J. Abrams is overrated.
He
I mean,
is.
I think he's all right. I'm
I
not
feel
gonna.
like I haven't heard much about him since that. Like I kind of like I really don't feel like he's done. Has he done anything since that? I can't remember anything. It just seems
Probably,
like until
but-
you just said his name right there, I'm like I have not heard J.J. Abrams in a long
Yeah, I think
3
that
years or something.
the age of the Abrams is we've
Kinda
exited
passed.
the
'Cause
era
he was
of
everything.
Abrams.
What did he?
Yeah.
What was the first thing he did? Was it Lost? No wait. He
yeah,
did some
I think
show.
Yeah, it was Lost. I don't know if that was the first thing he did, but
You
that
ever-
was like
you
that's
ever
what put him
watched
on
Lost?
the on the. Yeah, I used to watch it.
I
I
used to-
loved the first season.
yeah.
The first and second season I loved.
Yeah.
And then I read somewhere that the writers had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah, and you could
then
tell.
I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
they don't.
You can tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
I
And they
tried
were
to show
just-
it to my
and-
wife, and I was embarrassed. I was like, "What?" Because I was doing it while I was taking I was crushing up basically heroin. I didn't
Yeah.
realize now until the sack
Like
letters would come out. Yeah,
morphine. Oh,
I was
Oxy.
taking those oxy, and that was my little phase of that. And just it was a winter I went through with my friend, just doing those and eating chicken soup. That's all we do. And we watched Lost, and I thought it was the greatest. I thought this is the best show it's ever been.
Yeah.
And then I tried watching it again, not on that thing. And I
Yeah.
was just like, "This sucks. This is
Yeah.
pretty bad."
I
All
can't
the characters
imagine
are so
going back and watching
attractive. And they're just like, other than Hurley,
They're dead. No, they're not. Everybody else is
I
dead.
know.
Like,
It's
fuck
so
off.
jumpy. It's so like just not
Yeah.
good.
And then the bunker. How much of a build up to have zero payoff?
I know. The smoke monster. What was
Yeah,
that?
what the fuck? God, I'm just getting mad now.
They're
talking
just
about it.
whipping shit out of their. That's J.J. Abrams. He's a genius, huh?
Yeah, genius.
He just had a budget, dude. You could do
All he knows how to do is get really attractive actors
Yeah.
and have them do nothing, I guess.
Yep.
Because that's all his Star Trek movies are. Just like
Yeah.
they just like got hot people to play the original series characters.
Yeah, it's true.
Chris
Pine.
is it Chris Pine?
Yeah.
One of the Chris's.
I'm surprised. I don't know why I know that, but
Yeah.
that name popped in there. So much useless information we have rolling around our heads. That
Yeah, and I
don't
can't
wanna
like
know.
I can't remember birthdays or
Why do I know Imagine Dragons songs?
Oh God! Why
am I-
do you know Imagine Dragons?
Because my
songs?
kid likes them.
Oh no!
And it makes me sad.
What a
'cause-
punk.
Yeah, he also likes good music too.
Okay.
But he'll be like, I
That's
like
good.
that Imagine Dragons song. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't stop that. That's fine.
I mean, I liked like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and
Yeah.
NSYNC when I was a kid.
It's catchy.
Yeah, right.
But then you realize they destroyed real music. That there was a real revolution starting, and it got destroyed very
Yeah.
quickly by that. I try to tell my wife that all the time.
Corporate cookie cutter like
Yes.
versions of like good music.
It was opening up, it was all opening where it was like, oh my God, record labels are signing interesting bands.
Yeah.
And it's like the cooler you are and the more edgy you are, is it like a good thing?
Yeah.
And it's like people are starting to open up. The door was starting to open. We're like, oh yeah. Then it just closed up.
Ugh.
I think Radiohead was like the last band to slip through there. Maybe. And there's a lot of cool underground bands now.
there've been interesting bands, I think, but probably on the level of Radiohead might be the last like really big
one.
interesting band.
Yeah. But
Well,
see, you're cool.
there's like Mars Volta.
Yeah, actually, they were really good.
Yeah.
They had that whole.
They
curse.
probably weren't as big as Radiohead, but
They got close.
they're pretty big. Yeah, Mars Volta is interesting.
Radiohead probably got a little too big. I don't think they really deserved that much fame. They
Yeah.
were good. I like
Kid
them.
A is amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a great record.
That's true.
Eat some mushrooms, put on Kid A, just
Yeah.
lay there and just feel the feelings.
I don't understand why when you make a side project though, like the guy from Tool did it, Radiohead did it. Whenever you make a side project and it sounds just like your other band, I'm like, if I were to make a
Are you talking
side
about?
project,
Are you talking about Pucifer or?
well, Pussifer
or
doesn't actually, but it was
yeah,
a Perfect Circle.
Perfect
I thought
Circle.
was just like,
It's like a dumbed down Tool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Pussifer though is very original.
it's
I'll give him
interesting.
that.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
I really like that song "Indigo Children."
Yeah,
You know that song?
Indigo Children.
Yeah.
Yeah, or and he gets really funny and weird with it too.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I was listening to a guy. Have you ever heard of Oliver Tree?
It rings a bell.
He looks like a Tim and Eric guy. He looks like Eric Wareheim, or actually, he looks like if Tim and Eric Wareheim merged into this weird cowboy guy.
Oh yeah.
But his whole. I was listening to him talk yesterday. He was just saying this is kind of how I feel too. He goes, I think the whole being cool in a band thing's played out.
Yeah.
I think people are tired of it, and it's about being weird or being original. And he made really good points. I don't know how good his music is. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's different, but I haven't.
What band is he? Or is he just
I
like
think
a
he's
singer
just Oliver
songwriter?
Tree.
Okay.
But his music's just strange. But I liked what he was saying, and I think that's how I feel because I've just seen a lot of seen too many bands wearing all black, standing there like.
Yeah, like out in the forest.
You guys don't look like you'd be fun to hang out with.
Arms
Yeah.
crossed.
Right.
Like, we're so serious.
But some people, that's
the
kind of
entire
music
metal and punk scene.
Yeah, but some people, that's what they want. That's all they want.
Yeah.
But I'm also really tired of the singer-songwriter, like white girl, Phoebe Bridgers shit. That really bugs the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that around here.
Oh, I
It's
know.
just like, oh, come on. It's not, one song is hard to get through.
Yeah.
But you're giving me a fucking concert of that stuff?
Yeah, right.
I like weird.
Yeah, I was working because one of my part-time jobs was Kemba, and I worked the what is it, Boy Genius,
Oh, we always
show.
talk shit about them. Yeah.
and I was like, this sucks, and people were like, are you serious? Like I wasn't allowed to say that, and I'm like, it sounds like I'm at church.
Yeah,
it's
really
so
bad.
preachy,
And now they're like
and,
kissing on stage, trying to be like, look, we're edgy. It doesn't show in your music at all.
Yeah, no, like this is. Ugh, I don't know. Maybe the
No,
lyrical
we
content
absolutely
connects
cannot-
with people, but like the whole vibe. Yeah, it was just like being at church, and it just made me so uncomfortable, and like just like this toxic positivity.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I need some negativity in this.
So a little bite, a little edge. See, and I think
Yeah.
that's okay. I think like the bands I liked when they came up, they weren't afraid to call out some bullshit, man. It was like,
Yeah.
nothing personal, but
Yeah.
what you're selling sucks,
Yeah.
man. Like, I don't. It's not. Maybe you're an okay person, but it's like.
Yeah,
That's what I kind of like that. But, you got to be willing to take it back. You're going to, and I'm fine with that. Dude, I know so many people don't like my band. Like, I get it too.
Well,
You're allowed
yeah.
to. You're not allowed not to, but
Yeah.
you can't say we're boring though.
right. No,
That's one thing I'll tell you. Like,
Yeah.
you might not like it, but we're not boring. Because
no,
I've
absolutely
seen
not.
fucking boring.
Also, you guys are awesome.
Oh, I don't
So.
know about that. I don't know about that.
Hell yeah.
But like boring is what I'm trying to not have.
Right.
That's the
Right,
that
right.
would be the biggest insult. It's like, and that's happened to me. There was nights where we were the least interesting band, and I was like, this can't fucking happen again. It happened if we played with a band called Big Gorgeous, and this other band were all robots, and we came out and had like 2 dancers. I was like, oh my god, we're the boring band tonight.
Ugh.
No, like you've never been the boring band. You guys are not the boring band ever.
No, never the most normal band. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't want that. I can't do that. That's something about that. I want people
We've
to
been
remember.
we've been the worst band for sure.
Oh yeah, we have to for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
that happens most.
And
nights.
sometimes you're the best band though. Have you ever felt that? That's a good
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
That's like where you're like, oh wow,
Or
somehow
like my favorite is where it's like every band killed it.
Yes, that's
and you're
actually
like, this
cool.
was a great lineup.
Yeah, and everyone seems to like, and
and
everyone's-
we're getting along.
that's what it should
and there's
be.
like a good energy.
Yeah.
And there's like some synergy, and it doesn't seem like any one band is like the egomaniac, and we're just all hanging out and having a good time.
And nobody's
That's-
worried
that's
about
what I
how
do
they're,
it
yeah,
for.
and no one's afterwards like, man, my set really sucked.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who cares? Like, I
Yeah.
might have hit a chord wrong or like,
Yeah.
but it's like, no, it's not
it's hard
about
for
that.
me to not be like that. Like, oh, I fucked up this one part, blah blah, and everybody's like, shut up. Like,
We all do
nobody's
that to a
paying
degree.
attention to that level. To that, it's like.
I probably
Yeah.
should do that a little bit more. Actually, I should be a little bit caring about what chord I'm playing. Sometimes that's my problem. But like,
Maybe a little bit,
I think
but-
it's because I used to always do that, and then I swang all the way that like, no,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna like
From one extreme to another.
Yeah. If you see any great scene like Seattle, all these fucking scenes before they broke, they all had that vibe. Like that's what was boiling up. I think that's what the real thing is. When they're like Seattle, like '89, everyone was like surfing on each other, and
Yeah.
and no one was famous yet. And then the band, like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, and then it became like because even Nirvana would say we'd go back to our old clubs we'd play, and everyone's standing there like this now. he's like, it's a drag. It's like,
Yeah.
they all pay to see you, but they're all judging the shit out of you because they're like, why is my band not up? It's a whole other vibe. It's not a sharing. And then they are jealous. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, well I just saw you on MTV last night, motherfucker, and you never have to work again. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're just some little skinny weird guy on heroin. Why the fuck did you get that? You can sort of see it on all sides of it. It's like, why is your band the one? Our band's fucking. We have 4 chords in our songs.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's all who you know. Though I love Nirvana because of personal reasons, but.
Oh yeah, I love Nirvana too.
I do too.
I hated them in high school just because like everybody was walking around with
You were
Nirvana
supposed to.
shirts,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, I was that contrarian where I was like, fuck the Beatles, fuck Nirvana, because I don't want to like anything that's like cool or popular or whatever.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was listening to shit like Radiohead and
Yeah.
thinking that I was like, oh, that's such weird, nobody knows Radiohead, and then and then went to college and I was like, oh shit, everybody.
It's like, God damn it! I just was hanging out.
My music that I thought was so underground and is the music now. It's like, oh great, I'm just a poser.
My whole thing was just like when I was coming up, I didn't even dream of playing music because it was always like girls, girls, girls.
Oh yeah.
Like motorcycles and strip clubs.
I
and
don't
was like,
know
ugh.
if I would have wanted to play music if I grew up with that.
You didn't even, and the
like,
people that were into that, I was like, that's not. I was going to draw pictures in the corner here and make little weird movies, and then then I got a Rolling Stones album. So I was like, I'm going to try because I remember I would get music just to see it in my. I wouldn't even listen to it. I had like all the Kiss albums. I had everything because I could
just for the album art.
I guess just to have it because I thought that's what you do. You have tape cassettes in these little boxes. Because my friend
Oh,
John
you're
Whetstone,
like a collector.
yeah, I
like
collected it, but I don't think I even enjoyed it or listened to it until I heard a Rolling Stones album, and I was like, actually, I kept listening to it. I was like, this one I can, and then it got me into the Beatles. And I was like, God, I went through this whole phase of like, why is it all Whitney Houston? Why can't we be like writing songs about changing the world? Or, even though the Beatles are very, at that time, they were new to me. So it was like, I was going through my own little Beatlemania. And then Nirvana came along.
Yeah.
And but there was really the Pixies and Cure and all that. But that was the first one that like broke through. I was like, it's like a skinny, weird dude. Like I could fucking play music. And right when I needed to get some girls to be looking my way. So it kind of helped, I guess. It got me out of being that guy, though, dude. Like, I was fucking, like, zits, like, shy, like...
Yeah, just that awkward phase,
Yeah, like, nerd.
Yeah, I think
Which
we all...
nerds weren't cool at that time.
No,
We had nothing. Were you in the not cool nerd phase?
Oh, yeah.
You must have been the tail end of it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know how it is now, but...
Well, they have, like, conventions and shit.
Yeah.
They have like orgies. I see. You see like videos like
Nerd
cosplay
orgies?
nerd or like they all fuck each other in like uniform or unicorn costumes. And I mean, they're having way more fun than we were. Like there's like a They're having like.
Well, that's what the internet, man. Like it connects all kinds of people together who have similar tastes, and that can be really beautiful and also extremely horrifying.
Extremely horrifying.
That's how we get the Nazis back together.
God, yeah, you're right. There's really some downsides.
Thanks, Facebook.
To that. Yeah, it did create. They also
God damn
unified.
it.
Yeah.
Fucking Facebook, dude. Like during the like later, Obama years and into the Trump years, like Facebook knew there were the moderators at Facebook that knew they saw these alt-right groups forming and these militias violently who their entire ethos was like fuck these other people, and we should arm ourselves so we can kill these other people. And it was setting off all these red flags, and these moderators, like, because it was Facebook groups, that's when they first broke those out, like they unveiled that. And then these alt-right groups were forming, and the moderators were like, hey, this is starting to become a problem. We have these groups forming all over the place, and they're getting very popular. But, they took it to Zuck, and he looked at the numbers, and he's like, look at those clicks, though. Seriously. He was fully aware. He was made fully aware of the problem that was burgeoning, that was like seriously boiling under the surface, or just on the surface even, like, because it's like all these groups, like, we saw them forming, and we were like, well, how is this allowed?
Man, and every time, dude, I got our Facebook page got so dinged every time I mentioned something anti-fascist.
Yeah, well,
I have so many that
that's more of a recent occurrence. Like that is after all this information got out there that we realized what the real world consequences are for these social media platforms that don't moderate and will allow misinformation to go through.
Yeah.
I mean, because, all the, election fraud, all that stuff, and then on with the COVID stuff, just all the information that was just like being created and shared in these groups, and then that filters outward to the rest of Facebook.
When I post something like post like a picture of a guy punching a Nazi, why is that like hate? Is that why are they allowed to call that hate? When I'm like when I'm saying like because I did like all of mine that have been dinged because I went through a whole thing where I was like posting our thing about fuck Nazis basically, like punch a Nazi in the face, and like maybe it's because it's violence, I guess.
Yeah, well, because in an effort to cut down in violence, they're like, well, violence is not okay in any of its forms. It's just like it's that lib shit,
Yeah.
where they're like, punching a Nazi makes you no different than a Nazi, and I'm like, do you not understand?
That's one of the problems.
Or like where you're like, man, who was I? I just had a conversation about this where it's like, like in my perfect society, I would say Nazis are not allowed to have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's not freedom. And I'm like, well, it's the paradox of tolerance, or the tolerance paradox, or whatever it's called. Where if somebody is going to restrict or take away rights from somebody else, then you cannot allow them to have the right to do that because it's restricting the rights of somebody else. Basically, your rights cannot infringe on somebody else's rights.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a simple concept to me.
Yeah.
Like if we understand this implicitly at a certain level because we understand, I think in every form of, everyone's morals besides straight up, sociopaths, understand that killing somebody is wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like you cannot have the right, even if you want to, you do not have the right to take somebody else's life. And we understand that to the core of us, that axiomatic belief.
Yeah.
That is wrong. And that's because you're infringing on your right to live the way you want to live cannot mean taking the life of another person.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it extends, and just take that same logic and extend it outward and just be like, if I'm telling you that or I am saying out loud that certain people who look a certain way or have certain beliefs are not allowed to talk. And in fact, we should probably get rid of them, eradicate them.
Yeah.
Right? The second you start saying stuff like that, you should be giving up your First Amendment right.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be taken out of society.
And is that not how the way things are, kind of?
Absolutely not, no.
So, but didn't like Alex Jones get deplatformed and shit?
See, we can deplatform. And this is the thing that these motherfuckers don't understand is, yes, you have the right, because I think America has the freedom of speech is good because it protects those who are saying their truths that, about themselves. Like, I am gay, or, I think that, universal health care should be a thing. It protects people who have those beliefs, but it also protects people who say, I think gay people should be put to death or whatever, right? And it does protect you. You are allowed to say that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't protect you from the consequences of saying that.
Right.
And
Which
before...
you should be, ostracized.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
At least exposed...
or maybe giant piece of shit that you are.
Luckily, for a while there, they were all wearing red hats, where it was like really easy to see who they were. Now we don't.
I kind of like that.
I know.
Like you guys got the stars of David, but like
you did it to yourself
for the Nazis. Yeah, it's like
that's like that Inglorious Bastard singer's like, now I'm gonna give you something you can't take off.
When you get home, you're gonna take off that nice Nazi uniform.
That's what I thought.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
That's such a good movie.
I know. I love it.
What a fun romp. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, what is the point of this movie? And then they just like decimate the shit out of some Nazis. And I was like, oh, okay.
This is like
fanfic. Like,
it is.
I wish this is how it went.
He does it. Have you seen the newest one? Once
Upon a Time in Hollywood? Yeah, I did, yeah.
He kind of does that there too.
Yeah, where
it's nice. It's like he time travels and kind of puts characters in that are not necessarily real, but like it's like, oh, it's nice to see though. It would have been nice if it went like that. That'd have been great.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. What was the show that had Jeff Daniels in it? That was it was called The News or something like that, or Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember it, but I never saw. Was it good?
It was it was good until you realized like I read like a review on it because I was kind of confused. You know, sometimes I'll be watching something and I'm like, I think I like this.
Yeah.
But I can't tell, so I need to go have somebody tell me whether I like this or
Right.
not, and I have to go look up like a review, you know,
Right.
to be like to tell me how I feel about it.
I know, it's hard to
Because
tell.
when I'm kind of on the fence, I'm like,
Do I like this?
yeah.
Is it-
I need some professional to
Sometimes
tell
you
me
need
if
to
I do or no.
And it's because you don't always
I'm a
know.
sheep.
Like I know there's a document or there's a show I watched called Dark that was like this German.
Oh yeah, Dark.
yeah.
Yeah, I liked that show.
I did too, and I'm pretty sure I really liked it.
I
But
didn't finish it.
I know, and I couldn't get. It gets very convoluted. But
Yeah,
like,
I think I kind of lost my focus when they went back to Nazi Germany. Or Nazi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Nazi Germany.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, when
But it was
they
such
traveled
a
back
neat,
to the 30s.
It was such a neat type of time travel. It felt real.
Yeah.
Like going through that cavern
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
Like it felt like, yeah, that's how it would be. It wouldn't be like a car. Probably it'd be like some weird portal that's probably been there forever. And maybe there are all over the place now. Because those are my favorite stories. Time slips and phone calls from the dead. Those are the two. Can you actually imagine getting? I mean, these are a phone call from a dead relative. My wife got a phone call from her grandfather's phone after he died and didn't answer it. And I'm like, fucking answer that shit. I know it's creepy, right?
Did somebody like find his phone?
We don't know. She didn't answer it. We don't know.
Right.
She never did. And when she tells me that story, I want to not strangle her. That's violent. But I want to be like, Jessica, you answer when a ghost calls. I'll answer.
I want to metaphysically strangle
I
the
know.
shit out of you.
I want to hear the fucking voice. Though it
Are
did
you allowed to metaphysically threaten people?
Maybe.
I want to superimpose you into the ground, you stupid motherfucker.
I think it should be a good way to like get let off some. Because let's face it, we're all very stressed out. Me and you have how many jobs?
4 each, right?
Yeah, 4 each. If
Yeah.
you count the band, which has been paying a little bit lately, except for
Oh,
the
yeah?
fucking Bad Axe Festival of fuckers.
Oh yeah. We never finished that story.
Oh yeah, just basically, we played 2 hours. We gave them a hell of a show to very little people, and they were
you played a
complaining.
2-hour-long set?
2-hour-long set. Yeah, had
Jesus.
beatboxers, dancers. Did a really long, weird ambient thing with Andrew, and the people there liked it.
Yeah.
There was fire people, and it was ended up being a good. We always try and make it a fun time for ourselves, and try to complain. You always see it. It's like
You
in
guys
my
are
brain.
super entertaining. Yeah.
We try to be, but it is a bummer when
you're like there. I feel like you catered your music to people with ADHD. You're like, okay, we gotta have as many things.
Well, that's because I have it.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
because when you're on stage, you're like, I gotta look at something.
Yes, if I'm getting, and I get very bored of my own. Like if I had to watch me, like for an hour.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's why I'm throwing people in there. Like, hey, I got a guest musician.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do a song here and there, because I've noticed that. That's nothing worse than like playing my songs and being like, oh God, not only are they bored, but I'm bored.
I'm bored.
And I've had too many shows like that. So
Yeah.
I just start being like, if I'm going to keep doing this, man, I got to really go for what I want. But anyways, a lot of people don't agree with that, or a lot of people are, it's surprising sometimes how many people will go sell out a show that I guess I'm different than I thought others were. I thought everyone would want this, or people maybe don't realize they want it, or people really liked safe, boring. I'm not going to name specific people, but goddamn, we're surrounded by people that like very safe, boring, predictable, been there, done that bullshit. And it drives me insane. I'm like, we went through the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and I thought we were learning lessons, but no, we're all going to go back. Like, the worst is that fucking retro white fucking wannabe Led Zeppelin bullshit.
Oh God,
young white dude shit. That sucks. And they're all dicks. The ones doing
Greta,
it around here,
Greta Van
dicks.
Fleet.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them around here doing it. Like,
oh yeah,
and they're just. I mean, the ones I've met are fucking cocks. Like they're just. I've had run-ins with them, and like they're not. They're all doing coke. They're just fuck. I mean, fine, do coke, but they're just playing a part. And I guess that bothers me. It's like you're not really. Don't act
are
like
you into this, or are you into the idea of this?
The girlfriends are bitches. It sucks. I've met, like, I have a particular story I could tell you, but we won't do it on. If you wanted to get really raunchy, we could.
Yeah.
Because fuck them. But I think sometimes it's time to draw lines in the sand. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You're good. You just drew a big ass line in the sand.
Yeah.
Not that we have to get into that, but I'm proud of you for that.
Oh, thank you.
That was a big ass line.
Yeah.
You stood up for yourself.
Yeah.
That's
well,
good.
yeah. The owner of Dirty Dungarees, JJ, he wasn't going to stand up for me, so
You have to, man. Dude, that's any like one of my millions of shitty jobs. I'm like right now, it's a good situation I've got, but there's a very tender equilibrium balance between me and the boss.
Yeah.
And the guy, you know, because they always ease you in.
This is at the diner that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a '70s diner that's like the '50s, and there's actual
The
cockroach.
the callback.
It is.
I like it.
It's like I'm in fucking Mel's diner, and I like it. I like it, and it's also easy, and it's like it goes by fast enough. I can listen to music. That's a big one for me. If I
Are
can
you
have
like
a job,
are you on the line?
no, thankfully I'm away. Like I'm not making the food. Fuck that. I'm back there doing the dishes. And
Oh, okay.
And I also
Yeah.
cook. I mean, I prep a little bit.
You do some prep. Yeah.
But-
Okay. Gotcha.
You know, I've seen him a few times where, like, you know, this is like one of those little details that like it's only been a couple weeks, but they start easing in their power to see if you're going to be malleable to their bullshit. If you're going to let them get one. Like, remember, I'm the boss. It's like, yeah, but remember when you didn't have anyone doing this job because no one's going to work. That's part of it. I work places where they need me. Because I know if I leave, it's not going to be like tomorrow. No one's going to want to work at that shithole. Let me just say that, okay? And they pay me good enough that it's worth it. But like, you know, I'll go on my phone. Meanwhile, there's one employee that sits down the whole time and just runs dishes but the rest of the time they're just sitting there. And I mean, I don't know how that guy got that, but he obviously stood up for himself. Good for him. He's a younger kid, but he's trying with me because I'll go out there every once in a while, and it's very sly because I'll be on my phone. Mind you, I'm doing my job perfectly. There's not a dish to be done.
Yeah.
I've already done all the work, but I'll go outside a couple times, checking with my wife because she's got a fucking some physical shit that happens that I have to check, and I have a 2-year-old as well. So it's kind of every once in a while. And plus, I want to talk to my fucking wife. I'm not in goddamn jail. But I'll come in after a couple, and he'll do this little like, everything okay? And I'll be like, yeah, I mean, I went and talked on the phone, and I do that kind of like a sort of like, what are you doing here? And he'll just be like, oh, just checking. You went out there a couple times. I was like, yeah. Other people,
Yeah, I'm allowed to do stuff.
Yeah.
You don't own me.
Yeah, and other people take smoke breaks. Have you seen me take one smoke break?
Yeah.
And I haven't gone there yet. But we're getting there. We're getting to that
Yeah.
kind. But I don't want to because I know within that time soon is me walking the fuck out because I've done it too many times.
Yep.
I'm like, you're a fuck, and right now you're trying to like. Because I've been taking days off for shows and shit, and I know like he has to do the dishes today, you know, and it's nice.
Your boss does?
Yeah, well, someone has to.
Yeah,
I don't know who because I'm not doing them, and it's not easy. It's like it's a lot of dishes, especially on a Sunday. It's like their busiest days are Saturday and Sunday.
Sure.
The other days are easy. It's just podcasts and fucking like. But those are also the days where it's like, what the fuck time is it?
Yeah.
As Chris Rock says, I have a job, not a career.
Yeah.
Careers, you're like, I can't wait to go to work.
Right.
Jobs is like fucking potatoes. I literally peel potatoes too. God damn. I have not excelled in the capitalist world, James.
Yeah. Neither have I.
Yeah, but you know, 35. That's I am old for this. Like everyone in my high school, not everyone, but a lot of them became Trump supporters, and they go to like Italy and they have houses.
Yeah.
But they also have no creative drive. I don't think they have nothing that makes them like excited to live. They're like, my kids are grown up and kind of don't love my husband. And wow,
I'm addicted to Xanax,
Yeah, exactly.
and I love my Pinot Grigio.
I'm getting strangely racist too.
Yeah,
it feels really good to hate.
I don't know how it's happening, but I don't like black people.
Yeah, I don't. I used to. Not anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So that's how I balance out and feel okay about myself. But I post it, man. I'm just like, hey, you know what? I'm poor. I'm proud. I'm in capitalist world. Like I chose a different path.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. But
yeah, every once in a while, I do get like, I get kind of panicky about it because, you know, this is not the track that you know, my dad, who's an accountant, you know, had in mind for me. You know, like I was supposed to go to college, you know, probably do computer engineering or whatever and get like an IT job or something and working in an office and, you know, have stability and, you know, have a kid and, you know, white picket fence, all that bullshit.
It's never too late to sell out. Don't worry. It's never too late to sell out. I've sold out in small increments.
Yeah. I mean, dude,
it doesn't feel very good either.
No, I mean, I'm definitely like at a place right now. I mean, just after the whole thing blew up with Dirty Dungarees and just like seeing all of just the behavior of kids these days in the music scene and stuff. It's like, I really legitimately, good on you, man, for still, like you said, you know, being almost 50 and still like sticking with it because like, I'm feeling burnt the fuck out right now.
Go through that too. I go through that too.
Yeah.
I go through that about an hour. I'll go through that, especially like that festival where it's like, you know, when you picture a festival like that, especially with the bands they had, I pictured at least 200 people there.
Yeah.
There are maybe 20 or 30 people there. And yeah, it was bad. That's why I think they didn't pay us. I don't think they expected that. And they had to give all the money to Acoustic Hookah. So, and the thing is, So they haven't. It hasn't officially been like where I've been like I'm the next email's coming, but I've given them like 2 weeks because there's a check in the mail. They did offer me to come pick it up, but I'm like, yeah, driving 2 hours to pick up a check you should have given to me.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't be. I mean, by the way, it's my third time I'm contacting you asking you for the pay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll get it to you. Oh, it's like that's always when you know. It's like when they don't offer it up because most places are like, hey, we'll get you your pay at this time. Cool.
Yeah.
Because here's my whole thing: if they're gonna pay me, which not all shows do pay you, I'll
Right.
play the show. The next day I'm always like, hey man, great time at the show last night. That's my way of being like, next line is when you say, yeah, man, you did great. Here's your pay. And usually they do that.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
get your pay to you soon. And like the Dayton show we did last night, that lady's awesome. She's always paid me and way more than we deserve for the show because we're the least favorite thing at that. No one wants to see a band at this fucking show because these people are awesome and they're very nice. But for some reason, she keeps inviting us back and paying us. So I'm going to take it.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
Like, and it's fun.
What's the show in Dayton?
It's called Ye Old Cabaret. It's like they have like all kinds of burlesque. It's pretty. I could show you some videos. I mean, it is on Facebook. You could see it, but
Yeah.
it's neat, man. Like they it's just it's the weirdest show we know of in Dayton. But we just got in because a band we knew bailed once, and she'd heard of us, and ever since then we've just been doing it. But
Oh, that's cool.
But
so
it's
like a variety thing.
it is. But for one thing, the sound guy there he's something's wrong with him, dude. He takes a half an hour to set up, and we even pre-set up. But then when he starts miking everything, I'm like, dude, we need a mic for both amps and 3 across the front. That is it.
Yeah.
And he's always like, I'm gonna do an impression of him. This is him, and we're always standing there while the crowd's slowly depleting too. He's like, because it's getting late, and they always put us on, but he's like setting up like this. He's like. And I'm just standing there like, dude, fucking come on. Like, I just need 3 mics up front, man.
Yeah.
And he starts setting one up above the drums. Like, we're not recording the session.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. And he does this every time. And then I have to always come up to him and be like, hey, man, nothing against your process. Because you don't want to piss off the sound guy. But
No.
Nothing against your process, man. But, like, come on, can we just
Yeah.
do this? It takes like a half hour. It always kills the vibe. And the people there aren't there to see
man.
music necessarily. But that's
It should not
downsides.
take half an hour to set up for a band.
No. And if I didn't...
Like 10 minutes
If I didn't
tops.
speed him up, it would take... Like, at least it'd take an hour. Like, he would just... I don't know what's wrong with the guy. I think there's something wrong with that guy. Like, there's something wrong.
It's like an attitude.
No, I think he's, like, really anxious or super perfectionist or something.
Oh,
There's something
like OCD or
mentally...
something?
Yeah. Because he's not a bad guy. And I always tell him he did a great job, even though he did not. Sound-wise, he does fine. But as far as, like, getting things prepared, he's the worst I've ever dealt with. But I'm always like, hey, man, good job tonight, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, and he was like, no, man, I didn't. I was like, no, you didn't. You actually did horrible, but I'm going to be nice because I don't want to... I'm in a good mood. Just play the show. And
Right.
I don't want to.
I mean, it's a golden rule. You got to be nice to the sound guy, or because you don't want to sound like shit.
You don't.
And nobody follows that golden rule.
You were a sound guy.
I'm done with that too.
Oh,
I'm
God,
telling
yeah.
you. I mean, with my experiences at Space Bar, with bands just completely fucking ignoring me, being like, how much time do we have left? And I'm like, you have time for one more song.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're already over. You have time for one more song, and they just keep playing. And then I had to like cut them off, and then literally I had like bands like storm the sound booth, like trying to kick my ass. And I'm like, what in the fuck is going on in this
That
bizarro
sucks,
world?
dude.
You
I
know,
told you guys, we were on a fucking schedule, man.
yeah.
And aren't they people that like? There's hardly anyone.
There's
playing
hardly
there.
anybody
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
But they
It's
just
always
think
it.
that they're rock stars. It's like, these dad rock bands that like,
Living out their
just-
fantasies.
Yeah. And they're like, fuck the man. We like rock and roll, and treating me like I'm the man. I'm like, motherfucker, I made $20 tonight for you to babysit your ass. $20. And you're saying that I'm the man?
Yeah.
You're the man.
Yeah.
Go back to your fucking, 6-figure salary job
Yeah.
while I'm sitting here making $20
And you
to
can-
let you masturbate on my stage.
I know this band in particular. Not that it's just one, but I know once because we played with them once. That's very much like that. Where it's like older guys. They're tired of their wives. They got nice cars and jobs. Probably like construction.
Yeah.
They own a construction company or something. But
Yeah.
let's start a band, Chuck.
Yeah.
Let's do that thing we always wanted.
Yeah.
I play guitar.
Yeah, I've got like a $3,000 orange amp, and a
Yeah,
full
exactly.
stack that like I never need
Yep.
ever, but I spent a lot of money on it.
Yep.
It fits on my yacht.
I feel like this is how Morgan Wallen got started. Same
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
that racist guy everyone's talking about.
I
I
haven't.
don't know a lot about him either. I just keep seeing his name pop up. Some racist guy named Morgan Wallen, but he's like
Is this like the Aldian guy or whatever?
he's kind of like I think he's in that vein. He's like
Try that in a small town.
yeah. He's country. He's rich. He's way too successful
Yeah.
But it's like
I don't know who this is, but fuck that guy.
Yeah, he sucks. Morgan Wallen.
Ugh.
Shouldn't say his name and give him more credit.
Yeah. Well,
did we do a podcast?
I think we did an entire
Jesus.
podcast. We managed to
We just splurted
to
that
do
one out.
an entire podcast episode without talking about
We didn't talk
anything.
about anything.
We didn't talk about the news at all.
No.
Again, we managed to do it.
This is the music
Good
one.
for us.
I know.
Yeah, good for
This
us.
one's
I'm
about-
proud of us.
Yeah.
You know?
We never really veered off topic either. It always kind of
No.
stayed in like music.
Yeah.
We've never
I think
done a
it was
music
pretty
one
good.
though. That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you know, it's still just kind of this is part 2 of the catching up.
Yeah, we're still catching up.
Yeah.
We got years to catch up.
Yeah.
Me and James, you know, we like to talk. We like to talk to each other. It's hard to find people that you want to talk to.
For real, it
It
is.
is.
Most of the time, you're just like, get me out of this
Yeah.
situation. I am not connecting with this person at all. We are not having a good time here. But yeah, then every once in a while you find these like randos
Yeah.
that are like, wow, I don't know, it's really easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Like there a member of the band Teratogen, Alex, like he I don't know, he's one of those like rare people that you bump into, and every time you see him you're like, oh, I'm glad they're here because
Yes. I love those.
we're gonna do like funny bits and just
Yeah.
like so I ran into him last night at the show at Bourbon Street,
Nice.
which had this really great band called the Hears Collective, or HIRS. I had never heard of them before, but they're an awesome like angry trans 2-piece, like a singer and then a guitarist, and they played like these backing tracks, and
Oh, cool.
like so they have like their backing tracks, and then there'll be like a pause, and it'll be like a Blondie song, or like
That's cool.
did Blondie do Girls Just Want to Have Fun? Is that Blondie?
No, that was
No.
Cyndi Lauper.
Lauper. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like it'll be like, girls, they just want to have, and then
that's cool.
and just like this crazy
neat
guitar
idea.
work. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Reed and I were talking about it, and we were like, it's been a long time since I've truly had fun with a set, with somebody else's set, where it's been fun.
Yeah.
And that was a really fun set, and
that's
so
a smart
I
idea.
highly recommend them to everybody. And
We've
then
been wanting to do
the other
more
band,
backing
Flesh
tracks.
Pile. They're great.
Yeah.
Got a shout out for them, and then our friend Lilith.
Yeah. Lilith Grace.
Yep.
like that.
Leech Wife. Yeah,
Leech
definitely.
Wife.
And and her set was awesome.
Yep.
It was one of the I've seen her play quite a few times, but yeah, definitely was really on it last night. So yeah, it was a fun time last
She's
night.
very nice too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
she's
always
great.
very, very nice, yeah.
Yeah. She's another one of those people where, because the reason why I know her is I worked with her at Music Go Round.
Oh,
And,
yeah. That's
yeah.
when I first started kind of talking to you, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we had our first attempt at starting a podcast. You remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
We so when
We
did
had like
I-
a test episode.
Yeah, we did.
and
Yeah,
then
we
just
did the one
kinda-
with Danny. We had one with Danny here.
mhm.
We did it over there.
Yep. And then it just kind of,
We just never did again.
it just kind of, I don't know. It wasn't that it was bad at all. It was just
Yeah.
like, it just kind of, one of those things where
I
you
wonder
start a
if you still have
creative
that. Do you
project.
still have that one? in
I
yours?
probably do.
Maybe I'd be
Yeah.
interested to
Dig that up. Yeah.
Danny wrote us saying he listened to this first. He might be the only one that listened to the first. The coming back in.
Reed did too. So
Good.
we got to give a shout
That's
out to
great.
our two friends.
That's two's good. I don't care if there's. We just have 10 friends that listen. This is the way to talk to you guys. Hi guys.
And then my
You're all
buddy,
welcome on the podcast.
my buddy Jeff in Colorado just shot me a text out of the blue and
Oh,
was
then
like,
you're
"Thank
getting
God it's
some
back."
response.
So,
That's good. Okay.
And that what I didn't. They just saw it pop up on their feed, and
Are you gonna?
just joked about it,
Are
so.
you? Did you put them on YouTube? Is that where they're on, or are they on?
There is an episode on YouTube. And then we're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify.
Oh, that's
so
good. Nice.
Those are where we're at now. I might be looking to expand to other platforms if people seem interested. I don't really know what's popular. I use Google Podcasts.
Do you ever
so-
want to get back into video?
Yeah. I think I'd really like to do that, and I want to do some more video sketches. So we should start
Yeah.
brainstorming some ideas for that. I mean, I know we have quite a few ideas.
I have ideas. I have some that aren't necessarily political. They're just stupid, but we could do those too.
Yeah, I mean, we did the OnlyFans one.
Oh, yeah.
I went back and watched that again not too long
haven't
ago,
seen it. I have to
like a
go look
month
back.
ago or something. It is way too long.
Yeah.
Like I can tell that I was like, oh, this is such a good clip, and so I just put the whole thing in. I'm like, this is why you need to take some time. This art form is very difficult because you really should for art's sake, you should take time to some space in between filming a thing,
Yeah.
and then editing it, so you don't feel so precious, like everything is so precious to you,
Yeah.
so that you can cut out.
And be honest with yourself.
Yeah, and be like,
Yeah.
okay, this could be much shorter. That video could have been like half.
Yeah,
It's like
I don't
5 minutes
remember.
of us
I don't
fucking.
remember. Yeah, I know. It kept going. I think we started to really enjoy it. Like,
Yeah,
did
I
we
think
need this somehow?
Yeah.
We need some
It's
sort
very
of
cathartic.
Male. Yeah.
Some male on male blood.
I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
There's got to be something. People spend their whole lives doing that.
Yeah,
there must be something
it's true.
to it.
Yeah, but I think I think we'll get back into video probably as we get a little bit more regular. I think I'd like to get on more of a weekly schedule,
Yeah.
and once we can kind of stabilize that, and build our audience back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it is a lot of work, and I mean, I like to think that I do it just for the love of doing it.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So and it's always kind of like a like a punch to the gut when you like edit something and then you throw it up on YouTube and it gets 5 views or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like to have a bigger. Or at least a little bit more stable of an audience, because I was looking through our numbers back when before we came back, and we had pretty decent numbers. So if we
Really?
get back up to that,
Oh, okay. Good.
if we get back up to that, I feel like we could safely and very easily transition back into video, and
Yeah.
maybe do some I don't know, Facebook Live or doing Twitch or something.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is another thing that I guess I should cover now since we're talking about our goals. Reed and I want to do the Alien miniseries.
Sure.
So we're going to probably be working on that here shortly.
Nice.
I don't if you want in on that as well.
Yeah, I may be able to, if I tend with my time, it might be hard, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Do I have to be at all of it, or is
No.
it like
I was kind of figuring that we'll kind of him and I will kind of do it, and then if you're around and available,
Yeah.
you can pop in.
That'd be good.
But just to have some
be
more
like a
fun
guest
content out there.
coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, I'm down with that.
Yeah, so it'll just be like a little mini series, and then maybe we can move on to another movie series
Sure.
like The Thing, or
So what do? You just kind of watch them and then talk about them? Or?
Yeah, I think, and we're gonna get some behind the scenes stuff, and just
Nice.
kind of like a retrospective on it and stuff, and
Nice.
the Easter eggs and stuff like that. Just because that's definitely one of our favorite movies. So
Sweet. We're just talking about the original or all of them?
I think we're gonna talk about all of them.
Nice.
Probably take an episode or two for each movie.
Yeah.
And then, if you guys are interested in that, I'm actually starting streaming me playing games on Twitch. So you can find us on there just at Rad Left Podcast if you're interested in watching streaming. I'm going to be playing through the Alien games.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm not very good at video games, so it's going to be kind of a slog.
Yeah.
I might not play through the entire games just because that would take forever, because especially with platformers and stuff, I'm just really terrible. So that might be kind of painful to have to watch me play all the way through them. But yeah, so I'm going to be playing through the Alien games on there and stuff. And then every once in a while, Reed and I play Root, which is a digital board game that we play.
Roots?
Root?
Oh, Root. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really, really awesome board game. So if you like Settlers of Catan, it's like that on crack, essentially.
Okay.
Have you ever played Settlers?
No.
Really?
I don't know much about any of these things, sadly.
Don't do that. Yeah. Reed's definitely a board game nerd, and
Yeah, he's your guy for that. I wish I knew more.
yeah.
Unless
You should play Root with us sometime.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
Unless you guys
it's
talk
fun.
about the original Punch Out game. I think that's where I stopped.
Oh yeah. Okay. All
I
right.
could talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Once you beat Glass Joe, you're going to go to Piston Hurricane.
Oh shit.
Yeah, watch out for Bald Bull.
Okay. That's good advice, I think, and I will take it.
Yeah.
I will take it very seriously.
two ducks and a punch in the face.
Nice. But so that's kind of our upcoming schedule. So yeah, check us out on Twitch. And then if you ever want to play a multiplayer game or whatever,
That'd be
just
fun.
over Zoom or whatever.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, just come home. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I prefer playing with other people rather than me just sitting there trying to
Alright.
talk to myself and.
You just kind of throw little things in as you're playing. Just kind of have little conversations a little bit.
Yeah. We talk about we talked about the proposition or issue 1
Yeah, which
failing.
thank God on
Yeah,
that.
thank God.
Yeah, that gave me a little hope for a minute.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that gave me. I was so prepared to just be like, well,
We're fucked.
Yep.
Which we usually feel that way anyways.
Yeah.
That's kind of the...
So it was oh my God. I mean, yeah, literally just on Friday, like I was hanging out with my girlfriend Briar and then our good friend Mindy, and we were just absolutely over the moon, just celebrating.
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
good that can still happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think,
yeah.
sometimes I try to not let any of those forces out there, even though they're so obviously apparently coming, and I try to not let it. I don't know if this is good or bad, but I try to not let it affect me because I feel like something really wants it to affect me like
Yeah.
that. Something really wants to keep us like that. So that's a tricky one.
It's hard,
but also
because
if you're
you got to
not-
care about
I
the
know.
material conditions of other people who
I
are less
know.
privileged than us.
Yeah, and you
know what I
have to
mean?
care too.
So you
it's
have to
hard.
care for them, for other people, because just because it's not directly affecting us right now doesn't mean it won't later, and that it isn't directly affecting
Right,
other
and
people
when I
right
mean,
now.
When I mean,
you know what I mean?
don't care.
No,
yeah, you know what I
but
mean.
you gotta protect your.
I know that's what's so tricky.
Your psyche.
Because I learned, dude,
Yeah.
I was losing sleep over the Bernie Sanders shit. I was
God.
like
Yeah.
so angry and
Yeah.
lashing out online. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
a big time for me to so many people left
Oh,
and
yeah.
good, fuck them for leaving. But I was
Yeah.
also being really fucking annoying.
Yeah,
have
yeah.
you always had the arm tattoo? All those
Oh, yeah.
tattoos? Dude, maybe I've never seen your arm that much. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've had this for 5 or
That's
6
nice.
years, I think.
How far does it go up? All the way?
Yeah, yeah.
What about the other arm? Nothing?
Nothing.
Oh, that's cool. That's a neat idea.
Yeah, I'm off center,
Wow.
asymmetric.
I got too much hair for tattoos.
They shave it off and then it goes back.
Really? Yeah. You don't have a lot of arm hair, do you? You're lucky.
No, not too bad.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's so gross. Especially this stuff. What the fuck is that? Like orangutan shit. I don't know. Anyway,
Keeps you warm.
I guess so.
It's there so you can survive in the upcoming fallout from global
That's
warming.
true. Maybe I'm evolving.
Yeah, you're
It's
the
gonna
next
happen.
evolutionary step. It seems like a backwards
Yeah, it
move,
does,
but,
kinda, doesn't it?
but it's actually forward thinking.
Yeah.
Good job, God.
I do have gargoyle feet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're gripping. They can grip to things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're very.
Oh.
I've lost relationships over showing people my feet. It's like everything's going well. They look down at the bend of the bed. It's like, that's what your feet look like.
Like, I get out.
It's like, yeah, we're done. No more sex for you. All right.
All
Hey,
right. Yeah.
this has
Before
been
we
good.
we veer off into more
I know we'll talk forever.
nebulous.
That was a fun one though.
Yeah. This is good.
Always feels like we should have a cigarette afterwards.
Yeah.
Just like,
"Ugh,
release.
it's good for you.
It was.
It was good for me. Am I French or am I German?
Is that what your feet look like?
Get out of my bed.
Get out of my bed. What am I doing French? Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, James.
buddy.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, whoever listened.
Casey.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Love you. That's nice.